Essay number 4, How the People We Once Loved Become Strangers Again. We all start as strangers, but here's what nobody tells you. We rarely choose who becomes a stranger again. Think about this for a second. Really think about it. How do we take someone who was everything, someone who knew our coffee order, our biggest fears, what side of the bed we sleep on, and turn them back into nothing? Not just a stranger, but a specific kind of stranger. The kind you have to pretend you don't know. Today, we're diving into one of the most universal yet unspoken human experiences, the alchemy of forgetting someone you once couldn't imagine living without. Here's the thing about forgetting, it's not actually forgetting at all. It's an active process of unlearning. Think about it. You don't just wake up one day and not remember their birthday. You wake up and decide not to acknowledge it. There's a difference. The mind tells you to move forward. It's survival, really, but the heart keeps receipts, every single one. You learn to navigate around the memories like furniture in a dark room. You know exactly where they are. You just choose not to turn on the light. And here's what's fascinating. The aftermath teaches you more than the relationship ever did. Grief, it turns out, is a faster teacher than joy. It has to be. Joy lets you take your time. Grief demands you learn now. You know the moment. We've all been there. You're standing in the checkout line. Maybe you're thinking about dinner or scrolling through your phone. Then it happens. That song comes on. Suddenly, you're not in aisle 7 anymore. You're in their car, windows down, singing off key. You're on their couch, their head in your lap. You're in that moment when this song meant everything, because they meant everything. And for those 3 minutes and 42 seconds, you're revolving around them again. Maybe you never stopped. Do you ever really forget your lover's birthdays? Or all your first times, intimate and not? Do your anniversaries ever become normal days of the year again? Are the things you did and promises you made ever really neutralized? Do they become void now that you're broken up, or do you decidedly ignore them because there's simply no other choice? I want to propose something to you, a theory, if you will. You either love someone in some way forever, or you never really loved them at all. Think of it like chemistry. When two reactive elements meet, both are fundamentally changed. You can't unmix them. You can't return them to their original states. The reaction has happened. The change is permanent. So maybe we don't actually forget. Maybe we just learn to live with the change, to carry it differently. The wounds we leave in each other are sometimes too raw to risk reopening. Not because we don't care anymore, but because we care too much. The scar tissue is what keeps us apart. Not indifference, but self-preservation. Here's how I see it. We're all at the centers of our own little universes, complete with our own gravity, our own orbits, our own cosmic rules. Sometimes these universes collide. The collision can wreck us, change us, shift our entire axis. Sometimes we merge completely, becoming a new galaxy altogether. Other times we ricochet off each other, forever altered but destined to drift apart. And here's the beautiful, terrible truth. The comfort of what we knew before always calls us back, but we can never really return. We're different now. We see the stars differently. Every person who truly matters leaves their fingerprints on our universe. You can feel them in the space between what was and what is, in the outline of absence, in the shape of the hole they left, a hole that somehow taught you more about your own capacity to love than their presence ever did. Whether or not that hole will ever again include the person who made it that way, I don't know. Whether or not anybody else can match the outline of someone who was so deeply impressed in you, I don't know that either. The choices we make in love, they only seem like choices. Really, they're inevitabilities dressed up as decisions. We find people irrationally compelling. We discover souls cut from the same cosmic cloth. We collide with classmates, neighbors, friends of friends, and suddenly, inexplicably, our separate histories feel like they were always meant to intersect. But here's what we crave, not the ease of it, not the access. We crave the collision itself, the disruption, the beautiful chaos of another universe crashing into ours, changing what we couldn't change ourselves. We wait for it, we long for it, even when we know the storm will pass and leave us altered, even when we know that one day we might have to pretend this person is a stranger again. Love isn't expendable. I wonder, and maybe hope, if we ever just force it to be out of necessity. So here's the truth I keep coming back to. We all start as strangers. Every single person you've ever loved was once someone you didn't know existed, someone whose name meant nothing, whose face was just another in the crowd. But we forget the other side of that equation. We forget that we rarely choose who ends up a stranger too. The returning to strangers, that's not a choice. It's what happens when love reaches its event horizon, when the collision is complete, when the universe insists on expansion. Maybe that's okay. Maybe that's the point. Maybe the becoming strangers again is just the universe's way of making room for the next collision, the next transformation, the next person who will teach us that we haven't learned everything about love just yet. We all start as strangers, but not all strangers are the same. Some are strangers we haven't met yet, full of potential, waiting to collide with our universe. And some are strangers we've already known, the ones who carry pieces of us we'll never get back, the ones whose absence taught us more about presence than we ever wanted to learn, the ones who prove that you can know every inch of someone's soul and still end up walking past them like you never traced constellations on their skin at 3 a.m. We all start as strangers, but we forget that we rarely choose who ends up a stranger too. And maybe that's the most human thing about us, this ability to hold complete knowledge of someone and complete distance from them in the same heart at the same time, without dying from the contradiction. We're all just waiting for another universe to collide with ours, to change what we can't ourselves. And in the meantime, we practice the strange art of forgetting people we once couldn't imagine forgetting. It's interesting how we realize the storm returns to calm, but we see the stars differently now, and we don't know and we can't choose whose wreckage can do that for us.